Hey everybody, what's happening? Son of a Silver Stacker here. In today's numismatic news and information for the 11th day of May 2021, I'd like to do one thing before I take you to JM Bullion, and I want to congratulate DA Sales on getting 1,000 subscribers. And if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and please do. Um, I don't have enough kind words for DA Sales. A true gentleman and a scholar, and we can all learn something and how to be a good human being from this gentleman. So there's giveaways of silver, there's trivia, and all kinds of fun stuff. And he's built an excellent community on Discord where you can actually buy and sell items as well. So check that out as well. Great human being. Now, definitely want to take you over here to JM Bullion and look at the spot prices. Gold is up $4.16 to 1847.65. Silver's up 4 cents to 27.55. Platinum's down $10.20 to 1260.70. Look at this, staying over that $3,000 threshold, up $9.20. We have platinum at $3,007.35. That's excellent. Kind of big show for you here today, folks. I don't even know what to call it yet, and I guess I may figure it out by the end of this, but there's about 15 different tabs, so stick with me, and I think that you'll be happy that you did, because there's a lot going on here. So first things first, take you over here to the United States Mint's website, and we know that today is May 11th, and at noon, these dropped. Product 21KA and 21KB. That's the Kennedy half dollar program, rolls and bags. Check that out. So here's the rolls, and here are the bags. Now, next thing I want to do here is take you over to Wikipedia and look at the London Bullion Market. And it's a wholesale over-the-counter market for the trading of gold and silver. Now, trading is conducted amongst members of the London Bullion Market Association, and it's loosely overseen by the Bank of England. I think that's a very interesting adjective. So, LBMA. What is the LBMA? Here we are at their website. So it says gold and silver stocks held in London vaults, end of April 2021. Well, that's great. But look at this. It says here a data submission error led to the publication of an incorrect aggregate figure for the total silver held in London vaults in March. Now, if you know what was going on in March and February, there was a silver shortage, right? I mean, everybody was panicking. They were not selling the products online. They actually held back on one particular weekend to not selling any silver products because they wanted to see what the spot price was to come Monday. And once the spot price opened up, the products were put back on the shelves for sale. So it says here the corrected figure for March is 1,143,194 troy ounces. And it says here this is the April numbers are printed below. Now that's a big boo-boo, okay? And they've actually amended it and put an asterisk here on this particular one. We're still on the LBMA. Baseball, thinking baseball. I got baseball in my mind. It says here, at the end of March 2021, there was a record stock of silver held in London vaults. In total, there was 38,859 tons of silver, representing an 11% increase on the previous month. Okay, so that's actually false, because if you follow their asterisk down to the bottom, it says here a data submission error led to the publication of an incorrect aggregate figure for the total held in London vaults in March. The correct figure is 1.143194 troy ounces, and that's in the hundreds. So they reported more silver, and quite a bit more silver. In fact, 1,143,000 ounce bars more than they actually had. Now, and that's during a time when people were kind of panicking and freaking out. So they reported that they had more gold, or silver rather, than they actually had in the vaults, because there was, a submissions error. And that's pretty interesting. So wanted to take you here. So that's great timing, because they said that they had more silver than they actually had in the vaults. Something comes into play, whether they intended to or not. And it was actually reassuring. Hey, they got a lot of silver in. So we're not having a silver shortage. There's more silver here. And look at all these bars. There was a record amount with an 11% increase. No, it wasn't actually. Sorry. So that's perception is reality. So it says each individual has his or her own perception of reality. The implication is that because each of us perceives the world through our own eyes, okay, my mountaintop compared to your mountaintop, you're not going to see everything I see. Reality itself changes from person to person. I say mountaintop to mountaintop because you get a better perspective when you put it visually, right? So let's go over to that mountaintop and look at over here, back where we were standing. It's a completely different view. So reality does not change to adapt our viewpoints. Reality what it is, and reality is fact. So look at this. So do you remember what this is? This is the Boston Tea Party, where a bunch of colonists dressed up as indigenous folks and dumped a bunch of English product into the Boston harbor. Perception is reality is a great imagery here for that argument, because you see one thing, but it really isn't what it is, because it was, well, it's an incorrect data. What did they say? An incorrect data submission? So a data submission error. So this is a data submission error because we don't know the real truth. It's an unreliable narrator. Now, next thing I want to go on to is this. This is from, oh boy, what's the website? My bad. FX Street. This is huge. It says here, LBMA clearing banks risk complete collapse. And this is on 5/7/2021. This was only a few days ago. It says here, as implementation day fast approaches, and that's for Basel III. Oh boy, they don't like this. Or Basel III, I'm not sure which. As implementation day fast approaches for Basel III, Andrew Maguire reports on collusion between the LMBA and the CME in a bid to buy time to unwind massive interconnected unallocated positions. The longtime wholesaler also offers a short-term outlook for gold and silver and explains this week's long-awaited positive price movement in the precious metals market. So there's that. And then there's this, the end of unallocated gold and silver. And this is from investing.com. It says here, when Basel III NSFR comes into play starting June 28, 2021, unallocated gold will be extremely expensive to trade and not worthwhile for the manipulated shorts to continue. The LBMA has kicked back because, quite frankly, they are in a mess and nowhere near able to comply with these upcoming rules, despite having had years to prepare for it. It is no secret the LBMA deals in mass unallocated gold and silver, and has done so for years. There are many long-winded and deliberately confusing definitions for unallocated and allocated, so here's a simple difference. When you buy gold or silver via an unallocated account, you never actually own it. It can be leased out. It can also have several other owners' names on it, so you don't want that, do you? But when you buy allocated, you pay slightly more for storage costs inside a vault because it has your name on it and nobody else's. If you simply buy physical and want delivery, it sits with you in your possession. This is why there has been a drive of late to own and hold physical, because there is such little trust in the holdings across the globe of unallocated gold and silver. Boom. So the party could be over here in end of June, and that's about a month and 2 weeks away. And they're fighting it tooth and nail because it's going to get really costly to do those transactions. I think there's an 85% surcharge on each one, if I'm not mistaken. So that could be huge for them. Now, next thing I want, thanks for sticking around. I know it's 8 minutes in. This is also kind of happening now. So there's a major chlorine shortage, and it could impact pool season this summer. And you think, well, what's this got to do with coins and such? Well, most everything is interconnected. We just have to look for the red string that ties it all together, so to speak. Now check this out. And this is all about the pool season, right? But look at this. So there's alternatives to chlorine tablets by converting to chlorinated saltwater system, right? Silver and copper ionization systems are other methods of using less chlorine. So they're talking about using less chlorine because there's a shortage, okay? And the alternatives to using chlorine tablets is converting chlorine pools to a saltwater pool, which are really amazing, and they're really good for your skin. And there's also silver and copper ionization systems, okay? So that also affects all of us tremendously. Another thing that affects us, and I wanted to show you this, a gas shortage because of that pipeline that was hacked on the 8th, or the, I don't know, maybe Friday last week. There's already gas lines. There's talk of rationing, and this is in North Carolina. And I bring this up because North Carolina is just east of Tennessee. And I think all of the states that border the eastern seaboard that have a limited supply of gasoline will be driving, okay? So all you need to do, if you're in Memphis, okay, you just drive down the 40 east, through the Appalachia, and you're in North Carolina. So I think a lot of gasoline is going to be coming from the central states to relieve the burden on the eastern seaboard's gasoline shortage because of the pipeline shutdown. And that's going to make gasoline costly for all of us in the United States. And we're already seeing hikes left and right. There's no doubt about it. So please be careful when you're getting gas. Be patient, I imagine, when you're getting gas. And this also probably, grass grows pretty fast here in Florida and Georgia and the South Carolina, so on and so forth. And we're getting to be that season where you're going to have to mow your lawn every day. And if there's a gas shortage, what are people going to do? And I know this is unrelated, but so I went out and I got one of these, and I know make my son get out there and push that sucker. Anyway, they're cool, and you can do it at 5 a.m. and you won't wake up your neighbors. So that's kind of nice. So there's a lot going on, folks. I think that getting defensive is probably smart. If you need gasoline, you probably should go out and get it. There might be a rationing soon. I don't think we've had a rationing since the 70s. On certain days, people's cars that ended maybe like an even or an odd can go get gas on a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and so on and so forth. So this could get really interesting. There might be a lot more new rules for buying products. And we're already used to some rules for buying products because they put limits on it, right? Now they could put, not limits, but they could just limit the day you go there, right? Wow. So that was a mouthful, folks. And I want to thank you for sticking around. I know it's 12 minutes in, but there's a lot going on, and I think you ought to know about it. So thank you for watching. Thanks for sticking by this long. And don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you're hearing, please subscribe to the channel. It's free. Son of a Silver Stacker, out.